Hey everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. This episode would be checking out a piece by the established AI generative artist known as Ricecooker. This episode would be talking about harmony of color, we're going to talk about the beauty of cherry blossoms, and we're also going to talk about the revival of our digital genesis. So let's jump right into it. So whenever you first see this work, we're looking at this lone screen by the sea, kind of under this large bonsai tree, right? The viewer's first impression is likely rather calm as we see a sunset far in the distance. What you'll notice here, of course, the placement of our subjects, kind of our main subject and our secondary subject, if you will, are perfectly in center, right? It's always going to draw the eye. We also see this impact aided by multiple variants of contrast, whether it's this kind of light on dark contrast of the waves or the dark on light contrast of our form, dark on light contrast of the kind of tree trunk as well. All very important when we're looking at this work. You'll notice this kind of base analogous scheme, right? You have blue and you have purple. Those are kind of the two main colors within the work at hand, right? Those are an analogous color scheme, of course, right next to each other on the color wheel. It would feel quite harmonious and kind of gives a sense of balance to the work at hand, right? What you'll notice in the context of form, the placement of this canopy kind of drapes across and borders or frames the composition, if you will. There is this kind of circular composition to the frame at hand as well. And what's interesting is, of course, it drapes across. It draws the eye towards these elements that are under the canopy. So I think that's incredibly important. What you'll notice here is this incredibly tranquil theme to the work at hand, right? Like I said, we have this kind of sunset far within the distance. Then we also have kind of some waves just crashing beneath the sea, right? The viewer may feel kind of invited in a way, where they want to walk in, they want to sit down and maybe relax by the seaside. I certainly know that I do, right? And so this tranquil and this very calm composition is incredibly important, right? It almost feels dreamlike in a way, right? It feels surreal with these kind of purplish mountains in the background and this kind of bonsai cherry blossom tree, if you will. Absolutely stunning when we see this work. And so the cherry blossoms are quite interesting. When we look at a piece like this, it almost looks like a bonsai with a trunk, but when we get up to here, it feels reminiscent of cherry blossoms, kind of like a hybridized tree, if you will. We're going to take a quick look at some cherry blossoms and a bonsai, see what we can learn real quick. All right, so I brought two graphics in here. What is going to be the cherry blossoms, and then over here I have a bonsai tree as well. What I want to kind of show is that form and then the idea of the cherry blossoms. So when we look at form here, of course, you have that kind of winding nature of the bonsai tree. You have these very light leaves when we look at that. We certainly see that kind of winding nature of the form there. But when we look at the kind of busheled trees, if you will, or the leaves at the end, they don't necessarily feel quite that way. Kind of like a weeping willow in a way as well. But what I see most reminiscent of is kind of pinkish purplish color that we see with cherry blossoms traditionally. Cherry blossoms are quite interesting, right? Because they only bloom for a certain time of the year, they've really grown to represent the kind of limited nature of beauty or life itself, right? If you can kind of only come to that, there's this very, very rare chance that beauty, of course, beauty is harmony in many different ways. And so when we achieve harmony, when we see something like that, it's really important to cherish it. So, cherry blossoms kind of remind us to cherish that. I think that's incredibly important as well. Of course, the bonsai is also a very sacred symbol, preservation, so many different things you could point to there, but I absolutely love to show those references, especially when we're looking at the work before us here. Alright, so we talked a little bit about the kind of limited nature or the beauty of cherry blossoms, right? They only bloom for a certain amount of time. What we also see here, of course, is presence of the tech, right? This kind of retrograde tech. It's incredibly important. Kind of see a revival of the digital genesis in a lot of different ways. I see a lot of people also contrast, or maybe not contrast, but place right next to each other tech and nature, right? There's a lot of people who believe that they should kind of blend the two. I think that's a really, really interesting idea. We see in the Vaporwave, for example, a massive revival of our digital genesis, right? Especially over the past decade, Vaporwave art has grown to incredible new heights, whether it's music or say the visual arts what we for us here. So absolutely stunning. We absolutely love to see that. That retrograde tech, there's no doubt that it has an incredible impact all the way today, right? So with this in mind, what do y'all see when you view this piece, and how do you feel when you view this piece as well? Two very important questions when we're looking at this work. I also want to ask y'all, what do y'all think of the Vaporwave aesthetic? Are y'all a fan of it? Do y'all think it's kind of tacky? What do y'all view on that? Personally, I love the Vaporwave aesthetic, love the kind of revival of our digital genesis, right? So I truly hope y'all enjoyed today. This is an AI generative work, so it was created in an AI generative art program. Program is going to be Midjourney, really providing, an incredible amount of power as well as accessibility as well. So if you want to get into the AI generative art world, I would certainly suggest Midjourney. If you're kind of, all the way from beginners all the way to experts are using Midjourney. So, don't feel afraid to kind of jump in and get started. So, truly hope y'all enjoyed today. We talked about a bunch of different things from this kind of harmonious, analogous color scheme all the way to kind of cherry blossoms, the bonsai tree, the vaporwave aesthetic, AI generative art. So many different things we hit on today. I truly hope y'all enjoyed. If y'all did, go check out the original art. It's going to be the AI generative artist on his Ricecooker, doing some absolutely amazing stuff and really exploring a lot of different themes on a lot of different styles. So truly hope y'all enjoyed today. My name is Apollo. This was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.